this was one of the doctor bags that I took on tour. I liked it because I hadn't lost the key to it, and I could lock it, because Elvis was always trying to get into the bag. Sometimes I'd set him up, I'd go to him getting a drink, and I'd leave the doctor's bag there, and he would rummage through it to find out what was in it. And sometimes he would take something out that was just strictly placebo, and it was really funny to watch him. Through the years that I was taking care of him, I had a very difficult time trying to know how to order these medicines, whether to order them using my medical practice through them, or whether to put my name on them, or what the correct way to do it. And I even called some ship cruise lines to find out how their doctors ordered their medicines and couldn't get any information. Some of the bottles had my name on them. Some of the bottles had Elvis tour number 6 on them, Elvis tour number 7. And some of them just had Elvis's name on them. Elvis wanted his name on the bottles because he wanted his group to understand that he was providing them with medical care on that tour. That he hired a doctor, and if they got sick, they won't get taken care of. Elvis wanted everybody to know that his name was on there, that he was paying for this medicine, and they didn't have to worry about it. And he would at times go through my bottles and check against the bottles that I had against the bill he'd get from the drugstore to be sure that I wasn't pulling something on him. It seemed like the discrepancy came, and I can understand the discrepancy, in that if I'm ordering, let's just say, for instance, 50 medications that I think I'm going to need for somebody's health problem, I didn't realize that it was such a problem until after he died, and publicity came out that all these prescriptions were written, and it looked like Elvis took all these prescriptions. When Elvis not only didn't take the prescriptions, Elvis never had the prescriptions. All he ever got were the bills. I mean, the prescriptions were either in my hands or the nurse that lived out there on the ground's hand. We wouldn't leave prescriptions with Elvis. The exception was what he got in the mail from some of the other doctors. And it's not that he deliberately wanted to overdose on something, it's just that he would be asleep several times. I'd go out there the next morning, and he wouldn't remember taking something that I had out. He'd reach over in his nightstand, and he'd wake up, and he'd be afraid he's not going back to sleep, and he'd take something and not know what he took. And so that I realized when Elvis did the best is when he was in the hospital. The reason he did the best in the hospital is because we had full control of what he was taking. But Elvis was the kind of person that he had so much trust in me, and that he was a rare individual that placebos worked on. I had written a number of drug companies trying to get placebos made for certain drugs, which I couldn't get honored. That would have made my job easier than us trying to make placebos by taking a little capsule and taking the contents out and replacing it with something else. I mean, it'd take hours and hours having sick people working on them. And so we went all out trying to circumvent a lot of this. one of Elvis's trademarks. I'm not sure about the birth of the scarf, but I think that my son, who had something to do with wrapping the scarf in a certain way that Elvis had it around his neck, and he would pull it off and give it to the fans, and they would give away 70 or 80 scarves at each performance. He would try to make the scarf mean more by wiping his brow with the sweat and this kind of stuff. So the stars got very popular, and people would get in fight over it. Elvis gave away some scarves that had his name on them, and some of them in the beginning had the Hilton's name on it, and some of them were just plain and no name on them.